Right, here I am with Des from Bruce Clay Global Internet Marketing Solutions, who is an SEO specialist. And Des, I just want to ask you quickly, mate, I'm just getting your logo in there. If there were like 10 top SEO tips that weren't maybe the most common ones for the smaller to medium-sized business, or at least a few that you can come up with, what do you think?
I think trying to steer away from the common stuff, which is like links and content. I think the most important I'll mention two. The two most important things at the moment are engagement. So if you have a page that is not engaging, your bounce rates and your time on site will not be good enough to convince Google that you're worthy of ranking for a term. So if somebody types in a phrase, comes to your page, and Google's ranked you well, but they don't find what they're looking for, and they bounce straight out of the site, then your rankings will go down.
So your engagement on your site has to be such that people move through your site and don't just leave it quickly.
Well, Google can track whether they
bounce
send
rates.
people to you, and whether when they come back, they can also track, especially if you're using Google Analytics, which is a very cunning way of Google understanding what people are doing.
Yes.
They can see time on site, and they can compare it to what the other sites that are ranking in the top 10 are doing. And if you are out of the norm for that, then they'll drop you, or you won't rank as well. We often see sites that come from outside the top 30 rank number 6. Google always moves them to number 6. And then they track bounce rates and time on site for a period of time. And if you're not good enough, if you're not within the norm for that keyword, because every keyword will have a different set of stats, if you're not in the norm for that keyword, they'll drop you back out to page 2 or page 3.
So they will look at the time that people spend on your site, as well as...
It goes back to relevancy.
Yes.
So if I type in, termites, and I go and I click straight out, and I'm only on that site for 30 seconds, whereas I'm on another site for 3 minutes, obviously the 3-minute site is more relevant.
Easy way to measure credibility, isn't it?
Yeah, and relevancy. Google's all about relevancy. Wow. They want to send people to sites that are relevant and solve their queries.
Okay.
So that is one thing, and that's where usability, conversion rate optimization, and SEO merge. Because if you don't have a site that's usable and engaging, then people won't stay there. Yeah. The second biggest area, which is not a commonly discussed area, but in my mind is extremely important, is the combination of search engine visibility, social media visibility, and online brand presence. So by building your online brand presence via social media, you get this sort of they all support each other. It's a bit like a circle. So the higher your search engine visibility, the more traffic you drive to the site, the higher your search engine and Google changed the algorithm about 2 years ago through an update called the Vince update. And that actually takes your online brand presence into account as a mechanism to improve rankings, because Google was not using social media as a mechanism for rankings. And the linking part of the index has been spammed significantly. So by looking at how many pages where your brand and your keyword are used on, they can say relevancy. So say that there's 50,000 pages that mention Telstra and mobile phone, but there's only 20,000 pages that mention Optus and mobile phone, excluding Optus pages and excluding Telstra pages. It's obvious that Google is going to see more relevancy between Telstra and the keyword mobile phone than Optus and the keyword mobile phone. Thus, Telstra will rank higher for a mobile phone search. Same if people search for Telstra mobile phone, it's a very strong signal to Google that there's correlation between those keywords. Or if you search for mobile phone and Telstra doesn't rank, and you do a refined search for mobile phone Telstra, it's another very strong signal. So thus, companies that have a very strong brand presence and thus online brand presence rank better. So, there's a lot of that sort of, those are probably two of the newer areas of SEO that I've been seeing.
Brilliant. But still, I mean, that somehow seems to reflect really on the number of people linking into your site and to your social networks, that second point.
It's not many social media sites don't link to the source site. Okay? All of those sites that are chatting about a brand and their keywords are not necessarily linking back.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why Google is using that as a signal to leverage the content in social media as a mechanism to improve relevancy.
I see. So, in other words, what you're saying is instead of finding a link, because traditionally, I think everybody felt that it was 80%. The Google algorithm was about the number of people linking into your site.
The linking algorithm has been spammed to death.
Right.
You know, people buying links, people manufacturing links.
Link baiting everywhere.
Exactly. This is a mechanism to remove the dependency on links.
So now they're searching for your brand name
they can
and the keywords attached around your brand
name. It's already
name.
in your index. It's already in the index. I can find out how many pages there are on the internet that mention a brand and a keyword. So can Google.
Yes.
It's in the index. So it's there for them to use, and they can compare that to other ranking competitors.
Wow.
And thus the dependency on the linking algorithm is less because they leverage it on social media. And then if you couple that with the introduction of likes via Facebook, that's probably the third biggest thing, is the introduction of social media and likes. Many people are saying, and Bruce Clay, the founder of this company, wrote an article about 2 years ago saying likes are the new links.
Yes.
So, in the future, a like will become more powerful than a link, because it's much harder to spam a like than a link.
Brilliant.
So that's a third thing to add to.
Well, that's brilliant. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate your time.
I'll just say, if you want to get a copy of, every year we write the Factors and Trends report.
This is the Bruce Clay Factors and Trends Report, SEO. Fantastic. Thank you.
Every year we write that. There'll be another one coming out in January 2012.
Brilliant.
And it just goes through. You can see we look at all the big factors of, like last year, video, branded search, Mayday updates, speed, rich snippets. All the things that we considered were the factors of 2010. And then we also look at the trends that we think are going to take part in this next year. So that's a good document to get, and you can download it from their website.
That's a useful bit of kit, actually, and a shameless plug. I love it.
There you go, and you can have a copy of the USB.
That's brilliant. It's on the USB as well. That's brilliant marketing. Thank you very much.